Welcome to the Mucked Up My Self-Care podcast.
I'm Jill from New York.
And I'm Linda from Tasmania.
We are two moms from opposite sides of the world who are living, demonstrating, and helping moms across the world build their self-care asset bank.
Ready to dive in? Messy, interrupted, imperfect, and most of all mucked up. Let's get going.
Hello.
Good morning. It always amuses me when I hear the intro that we did, coming up to 100 episodes now. And most of all mucked up. That's still the general theme that we're following.
It definitely is.
Yeah, it definitely just fits us so well. So
yes.
Let's start with highs and lows and all those things. I think it might be my turn to go first.
Please, Linda, go.
I feel like I have many lows right now. We had sick kids today on the weekend. I've had vomiting, and Quinn cut his hand open, his finger with a knife peeler in the kitchen, and it's quite deep and bled a lot and a lot and a lot more, and Band-Aids just wouldn't fix it. So I had to take another trip to the hospital to get it all looked at and bandaged up and everything else like that. And it's just in between that and the vomiting and just so many things. All the kids at the moment just need me. Need me. So yes, that's definitely been a bit of a low at the moment. My high, I have to think really hard about this actually. Oh gosh. We went to see some inline hockey on the weekend, which was a bit of fun because we don't have the ice hockey down here. It's just done on rollerblades and on a flat floor in a shed type of thing. And so that was a bit of fun. The kids really got quite involved and engaged in that. So, yeah. Yep.
Cool.
What about you?
Let's see. Oh, there's a low. I don't know my low, so we're going to go with a high. My high is that I successfully recorded a podcast episode with my husband last night. And it just went like really well. Like I got things figured out that I wasn't getting figured out when we first started.
Yep.
Like camera placement and things like that. And like the clips that it was just like the process went very smoothly. And I even got like everything done after the fact. So it's already scheduled with show notes. It's just like, okay, this was, if we can continue doing things this way, this will be a good lift for me and not an overwhelming lift. So it was very relieving to have, like, it just runs smoothly last night. So
I'm so pleased for you.
Yes, I'm very happy. I still have to work on our conversations and what we intend to talk about. But that's a whole other story and not my low. Let's see. The low is hard for me to figure out right now.
Oh gosh, I'll swap you. Right?
I'm gonna go with, it's not really that much of a low, I guess, because it did come out with like positives to it, but I got sucked into the weeds, we're gonna call it. That's one of the phrases we use in the My Sexy Business community, is getting lost in the weeds. And I got lost in the weeds this weekend. I should have been working on answering some other really like important questions for my business and not playing around with clipping things and posting on socials, like doing things for my business also. So it was like beneficial for my business what I did do, but it procrastinated the other things that were more of a priority. And I knew it the whole time. I was like, I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be doing this. And then 2 hours later, it's done. And I'm like, okay, what's the next project I can go do that I don't have to go do what I really need to go do?
Yeah. Been there, done that. So many, like we're definitely in sync. And I think it's funny that our episode today is a question called Can Self-Care Be Balanced? And I think it's funny that you're struggling with your low and I'm struggling with my high. Sort of
each other out right there.
97 episodes in and we're like on track without even trying. So, but yeah, it is a good question. Do you think it can be balanced?
I don't know, because I almost don't like the word balanced. And I figured that out when I first started Mom Outspoken. Like, really, what are we able to balance out as moms or as humans? Like, is there really ever going to be an equal amount of needing or something, whatever, so it is balanced? Like, and that's when I switched my thought to harmony. And it's the way that it just fits together. Is there harmony in it? And I think with that aspect, yes, self-care can be harmonized into our lives. And it's just finding where does that fit, which is what we've become masters at, it feels like, in finding open spaces on our calendar. Be like, okay, what 5-minute self-care thing can I do right here to disrupt my day or to get me a little bit more energy? Or I do have an open block. Does self-care fit there? So I'd like to know, though, your thoughts on balance with self-care, and if you see it differently than I do with like just the definition of balance and how it fits.
I feel like I answer this question differently every day or every hour sometimes. Sometimes, like you were saying, it runs really smoothly and you're like, whoa, yes, oh, awesome. And then other times you're like, just need 5 minutes on my own. Oh my gosh. Like when you're being constantly followed to the toilet. And I have somebody, a 2-year-old at the moment, who flooded the laundry today. Like a full-blown flood through the floorboards into the garage.
My gosh.
The washing machine was filling or draining, and she took the pipe out of the laundry tub and splashed it all around. And I was literally in another room in the house. It's not like I was distracted.
Watching it happen. Yeah.
Like I wasn't even outside and not within her reach or on the toilet or in the shower or doing work or anything. I was literally in the other room. And it was such a mess. So, and that was the time that I was meant to be catching up on emails, right? And so instead of doing that, I was going through towels and towels and towels. And the mop just didn't even do anything. I was like, I just grabbed 10 towels and put them all over the floor. So in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, how does this happen so quickly? I thought we were doing really well today.
Right.
And then literally in 2 minutes, and she was splashing and having a great time.
Oh my goodness.
So now my floor looks lovely, like it's been mopped, which I was going to do in 2 days. In 2 days, there goes my balance. So I actually don't think it can be balanced in a way that we believe it should be, or in a way that's actually satisfactory to us.
Yeah.
Because again, the idea of balance means that we are somewhat satisfied with all of the different areas, right? So physical, emotional, spiritual. What are the other ones? Like, see, I can't even. I'm just
Can't
so
even
tired. Like sleep. I'm sure there should be a sleep one somewhere. But all of those things are in. Even having them in harmony is unrealistic.
Yeah.
Really,
Well, like,
as
yeah,
well.
the demands of where our roles are taking us. And I mean,
Mhm,
the other thought that is coming up for me is balance. So it's like you have, and this might be where we can say yes, it can be balanced, is, we've talked about it in the past, our sticky note time planner. We have
mhm,
on there a designation for if we know we are low on bandwidth, if we are super melty, or if we're actually having a really high energy day. And if we
mm,
go based off of that in our energies, like
mm,
we know we're having an off day, we balance it out with more self-care. We're having a really
mhm,
great day. We don't need as much of that self-care that day, but knowing probably the next day we'll need to balance that day out. And is that where the balancing comes in? Or,
mm,
we're being aware of where our energy is and what we have left. Are we able to, you know, really just balance out that day with getting some of it back to us?
mhm,
But that's also
mm,
depending on if we have the availability to squeeze something in, which is where I think you're right on that we probably can't balance it,
mhm,
especially every day. Because
mm,
I don't have, a chunk of time every single day. Even if my calendar shows I have an hour between school and, let's say, karate, when we
mm,
get home from school. I have about an hour and 45 minutes before we have to leave to get to karate after school most days. But it's a really great spot for Jacqueline to come home, get a snack, take a nap. And it's a great spot for me to like off/on ramp from work to family time. And
mm,
sometimes it gets
mhm,
muddied with more work. So I
mhm,
know
mhm,
I'm not using that space wisest always, and I don't let it just balance out and be its thing for on and off ramping. But I think that maybe, Monday I might work a little bit more than I would on Tuesday at that same time frame. So is
mhm,
that my balance then?
mm.
I don't know. It's very
I just listening to you talk and thinking about some things going through my mind that I can relate to, I actually still stand by my original answer that it can't be balanced. Like, I don't actually think it can be balanced. And if anyone would like to challenge me on that, please, like, I would love you to prove me wrong, because balance for you right now, while you've got karate season, let's say, is going to be different to when you've got no school, to when you're camping, to when you're, I don't know, like there's so many different seasons we have
yeah.
that we can't just say, this is how I find balance and this is the line in the sand,
Mhm.
because that line's forever shifting. And I think as mums, sometimes we get stuck in identities already as identity of being a mum.
Mhm.
And so if we get too fixated on this idea that this is how I have balance and get fully hyper focused on that, we lose 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 a lot of balance, or we lose any flexibility or
Yeah.
growth beyond that.
So does balance and flexible go together?
Yes, I think so. But I'd prefer to aim to be flexible rather than balanced.
Balance, yeah.
I feel like balanced is a lot more unrealistic for me.
And I actually don't know if they go together. I feel like harmony and flexibility
Mhm, mhm,
then work more well together because I if you think about balancing something out, sure, maybe then the flexibility, but because you're compensating for the missing parts, but when you're balancing, like you want equal parts, so it balances.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not really being flexible, in my opinion. Whereas harmony, we're going with the flow, and that makes it the flexibility able
Mm.
to be more flexible. Like,
Mm.
are we able to be flexible with our self-care that goes with our day, instead of knowing I have that hour and a half between school and karate, I have to do something for
Mm.
self-care at that time because it's available. I know it's available, but maybe I can do it after karate
Mm. I
instead.
just want
So,
to touch on something. I want to touch on something I just heard you say as well about equaling it out and it being fair. I find that interesting because are you talking about fair being the same?
yeah. It's a good question, right?
I like how you didn't really
Answer that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't think fair in itself is a problem that we've been very much drenched by
Mm-hmm.
in often in childhood or by society. If things were fair, how that means that our lives might look the same.
Mm.
They
The
definitely
other part
don't.
of that is like qualifying it. Like,
Mhm.
okay, I did this much stuff today. I now can go do this much self-care. So
Mhm.
it gives me permission then to go do something more extravagant or less extravagant. Like, so are we doing a disservice to ourselves by trying to balance it out with something equivalent to what
Mhm.
we're
Mhm.
missing, instead
Mm.
of just letting it be self-care?
Mhm. Mm. I'm gonna avoid your question now. We'll have to extract that one for another episode because we need
Yeah,
to
I know
otherwise
I
you'll
do
still be
that.
here.
Like, like I don't have the time to go shopping, but I have gift cards burning a hole in my wallet.
Mm.
But
Mhm.
I don't have, I haven't done enough work to qualify me to go out to go spend money on myself. So my self-care is
Mhm.
gonna look like doing something at home that doesn't cost me money. Like,
Mhm.
it's
Mm.
why limit myself to that? And also, like,
Interesting.
trying to find the right childcare at the right time, and, there's a whole
Uh,
lot that goes into being able to leave the house childless to go shopping.
or just go to the toilet
Yeah.
without a child on your lap, or trying to wipe your bum,
God. Yeah,
which is what my 2-year-old wants to do at the moment.
I'm past that with definitely, although I'm still having to wipe his bum, but
Oh, same here. I do that for the 4-year-old too, so I'm right with you there. And then I have also someone who likes to jump up on the back and flush a toilet while I'm still on the toilet, which, yep, I'd probably classify that as not feeling like it's very fair as well. So, yeah. Anyway, it's interesting conversation actually.
Yeah.
Mm. Mhm.
One thing I do think we balance out very well is our time zone difference in our recording sessions, Linda.
Oh. Mhm. Mhm.
I think we've gotten really well with trying to figure out our time. And
Yep.
one thing we
Yeah.
have to say out loud, though, is that we are celebrating our 100th episode coming up in just 3 episodes. Exciting. So,
Yep.
we don't have any details just yet because we are still ironing them out, but I know you and I will have to balance out a few things for us to be able to host this party. But in the meantime, we wanted to open up the conversation that we will be having for our 100th episode to our listeners, and
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
because we ask all the time, but please send us your questions that we could answer for our 100th
Mm.
episode.
Mhm.
If we need a
Mhm. Okay.
refresher for how this journey started for Linda and I know we want
Mhm.
to talk about that a little bit, and how we were voluntold to have this collaboration, and
Yeah. Mhm.
some of the progress that we've made on balancing. We're figuring out we can't balance our self-care.
Yep. or some of our favourite moments, most memorable moments as well. Because there's been a few where we've had to ruggle. Gosh. We've had to record late at night when I'm very clearly sleep deprived. We are often juggling toddlers on our lap or muting quickly so that we can have a quick word in the background. Oh goodness, it's been so much fun, and I wouldn't do it with anyone else besides you. So thank you.
Thank you
For helping with all of that. And yes, we will take a deep breath, come back to those questions another day.
Yes. So I think by the next episode, we should have all those details for you listening to come join us for our 100th episode. But until then, email us.
Love to see you there.
Questions.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. And until next week,
we hope you can unstuck your muck.
Bye.
Bye.